Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we will configure initial router settings. Before we have done how to configure the initial switch configuration. In this activity we will perform basic router configuration. You will secure access to the CLI and console port using encrypted and plain text password. You will also configure messages for user logging into the router. These banners are also used to warn the unauthorized user that access is prohibited. And finally, you will verify and save your running configuration. So today we will be using a router and a PC. First, we will connect the PC to the router via the console port. So from the connections, we will select the console port. Over here we will use the RS232, and on the router we will connect it to the console port. Then on the PC you will go to the desktop and then the terminal and click OK, and then OK. This is when you load the router for the first time. It will ask you would like to enter the initial configuration dialog. So over here you type no, and when you press enter, this is the default prompt of the router. So first we will go to the privilege mode. Over here you can check the running configuration of the router, which is the basic configuration or the default configuration. So you can check it by show running configuration. So this is the default configuration of the router when you load it for the first time. Then we can see and you might also know that the running configuration is saved in the RAM of the router. Also, if you want to show the startup configuration, over here you can see that the startup configuration is not present. The reason is because this is the first time we have loaded the router and the current configuration are saved in the RAM, while in startup configuration it is saved, the startup configuration is saved in the NVRAM. So we haven't saved our running configuration in the startup configuration. That's why it is saying that the startup configuration is not present. Then we will just configure and verify the initial router configuration. So first we will change its host name. We will go to the global configuration mode. Then we will type the host name and R1. Okay. So you can see that the host name changed from router to R1. Then we will just secure the console port, or when we log into the router via a console port, you saw that no password was asked. So we want to make it secure. How can we do that? We will go to the line console 0, and then we will specify a password. We can say my pass, right? And definitely we have to write the login command, and then you have to exit. So now we will verify if the console password is enabled or not. So you can see that now it is asking for the password because we are accessing this router via a console. So we have saved the password my pass. But now this is the user privilege mode. If we want to go to the privilege exit mode, so you can see that it is not asking, the prompt got changed, so it is not asking for any password. To do that, we need to configure the enable password. So in my previous videos I have shown you that enabling to set the enable password, there are two commands. First one was the enable password, and then was the enable secret. The difference between these two commands, that the enable password and the enable secret, that the enable password, when you set it, your password will be stored in the plain text, right? and if you set the enable secret password, then it will be stored in the encrypted form. But if you set both the commands, the enable password and the enable secret, so the router will prefer the enable secret command, right? So we will do that first. For example, if we go to the global configuration mode, and then we will say enable password, and I will set it to my password, right? So to check it, if we have configured it properly, we get exit. So this is the console password, which was my pass, and if we enable it, you can see now it is asking for the password to go to the from the user mode to the privilege exit mode. So it was my password. But if we show the check the running configuration, you can see that the enable password is in the plain text. The problem with it that if someone get access to your running configuration, anyone check the enable password of your router. So for that, what we can do, we can use the enable secret password. How to perform that? We will again go to the global configuration mode, and then will we use enable secret keyword, and then the password is my secret, right? So to check it if it is working properly or not, we will exit from the console login. Over here you can see this is the console password, which was my pass. And now if I go to the enable mode, so I have set the enable password and enable secret. Enable password was my password, which is not working, and if I use the enable secret password, which was my secret, it is working. So it means that the enable secret has higher priority than the enable password. And if you check the show running configuration, now you can see that the secret password is encrypted, right, while the enable password is in the plain text. There is a service, or there is a command on the router by which you can encrypt the plain text password of the router. So to set that, we can go to the global configuration mode, and there is a service password encryption, right? So if you check again the show running configuration, now you can see that the enable password is also encrypted. Next, we need to configure message of the day. As I have explained it before, the purpose of the banner message of the day is that when someone is accessing your device, in fact, if it is either a switch or a router, so it is a good practice that you show a warning message to that user that unauthorized users should not log into this system, right? So we need to set the banner, which we call message of the day banner. How to configure it? We will go to the global configuration mode, then we will say banner message of the day, and then we will start a special character symbol which will show the start of the string, and we will terminate the string by using the same character or the symbol at the end of the string. For example, if we say this is my starting string character, and I will use unauthorized access is strictly prohibited. So to verify if the banner was successfully configured, we can exit from the router. Now if I want to access again via console, over here you can see that we have shown to the user that unauthorized access is prohibited, right? So we will use the console password, then the enable password is my secret. So this is how you can configure the message of the day on the router. So if you want to check your running configuration, so you can check it by show running configuration. So these are the initial configuration of the router. Okay, now we will save the running configuration file. As you know that the current or the running configuration file are set in the RAM of the router. If you restart the router, all the configuration which are in the RAM will be lost, right? And the router will come to the initial configuration mode. So because we know that when the router or the switch reloads, it gets the configuration from the NVRAM. So to save the running configuration into the startup configuration, we use a command copy running configuration and startup. Okay, before doing this, I will show you again that the show startup configuration. You say there is no startup configuration. If it at this stage, if I restart the router, it will again come to the initial configuration mode. So to avoid that, we need to save the running configuration into the startup configuration, which means that we want to save the content of the RAM into the NVRAM. So to how to do that, we use a command copy running configuration and startup configuration, right? So over here it is asking that if you want to use the default name, which was the starting configuration, and if you say enter, it will use this name, or else you can type a different name over here. So now if I check again the startup configuration, so now we can see that the running configuration was saved in the NVRAM or in the startup configuration. There is another kind of advantage or the benefit you can get. For example, if the NVRAM, if the configuration from the NVRAM could not be loaded, or it is corrupted, or by whatever the reason you cannot read the configuration from the NVRAM, it is a good advice or practice to save the startup or the running configuration in the flash of the router. So it is an external memory that is used in the router. If we use it, flash. So over here you have 3 files. This one is just the IOS of the router, which has the binary extension, and the other 2 files. So it is a good practice that you save your running configuration or the startup configuration in the flash as well. So how to do that? You just enter the command copy running or startup configuration, which are the same in this case, and then we will specify the flash. Over here it is again asking for the name, so we can say startup dash config dash backup, right? And you will say enter. So if we again check the flash drive, now we can see that the startup configuration backup file has been saved in the flash as well. So this is just a kind of backup of your configuration for the router. I hope you have liked this video, you have learned new things. If you have any question, do ask me in the comment. Thank you for your time. If you like it, press the thumbs up button, to subscribe to my channel, and for getting the notification, press the bell icon. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.